alive. We'll show them that we preferred to die as free people than go to be prisoners, be captured by the Romans, and our daughters will be abused. He uses those words, and lose our freedom. And the speech probably has a very strong effect on the people because they agree. And the way they work, they do this is like the final night. What they do is they draw lotteries. And they found there's a room here where that Russian group was sitting. It's called the lottery room. When they were excavating, they found little pottery shreds with names on them. The lottery room. They drew lots. The lots were, the first thing was every head of the family took the lives of his family, his wives and children. And then the lottery was for 10 men who took the lives of all the other men that survived. And then there was another lottery with 1 or 2 people who it was their job to take the lives of the last 10. And the last person, it was his job to fall on his sword personally and commit suicide.
Did everybody do it?
Except for 2 or 3 ladies that they found them in a cave, because Josephus tells us that he knows the story and he knows about what Elazar said in the final speech, because when he came here with the troops, remember Josephus, the historian? He's an eyewitness. He comes up here with Flavius Silva, and he tells us that he met ladies who hid in a cave and told him the whole story. So now the war's over. The Romans break through the last barricade. They open up. They storm the mountain, and they're surprised. It's as silent as death. Everyone's dead. And that's pretty much the end of the war, because these were the last rebels who were still fighting and confronting the war, the Romans in the great revolt against the Romans. So those 6 years, starting in the Galilee, in Gamla, 767, Jerusalem in the year 70, Masada the year 73 AD. So Masada falls, it's over. And from here the Jews are expelled from Jerusalem, they go into exile. There's another attempt. 60 years later, there's like a second revolt against the Romans. We call it the Bar Kokhba revolt. And that's pretty much when the long 2,000-year exile starts. At this moment here. And you should know that in Israel as a state and as a nation have adopted this Masada myth as one of our foundations of Israeliness. I remember when I was a young boy, or when I was a soldier in the army, Masada would be a place that would bring us here on like school trips and army trips, and the commander would stand here and preach about fight to the death, and we will not be slaves, and we won't be captured, and we prefer death over death as a free man. And this was the Masada myth. Masada shall not fall again. That's like the cry. That's the slogan, the logo. We used to learn this in schools. Masada lo tipol shenit. Masada shall not fall again. But you should know this has been in the last 10-15 years. There's like a new wave of post-Zionism, I don't know what, that are not happy with that slogan. They're confronted. They're saying this is what we teach our kids. Commit suicide. It's not the Jewish way. You know what? If everyone would have done what the Jewish rebels on Masada would have done, Judaism would have died thousands of years ago. Because we survived because some ancestors, they did put their head down and let the wave over. And then when the trouble was gone, they would come back again and start picking up the pieces. The pogroms and Europe and the Holocaust, all through wherever we went, it's those who did survive somehow, and after the wave was gone, they managed to bring it back and continue. So there's a dilemma here. Where do we what do we teach? Do we teach fight to the end and die and commit suicide to stay free, or maybe it's better to compromise for a little bit, because things will be better tomorrow. And I like to make this correlation with the Masada shall not fall again. Masada shall not fall again. It's not the mountain of Masada. It's more than that. It's fewer levels above that. One of them could be the state of Israel itself. Medinat Yisrael, our state. That's why I wanted you to take those black rocks. Because I need you to take them home with you to America. And give them to someone who is coming to Israel and tell them, when you go to Masada, you bring it back, put it back where I took it from. Okay, take it home with you. I said take a couple because maybe you want to keep one as a souvenir. But one of them give to a friend that you hear he's going to Israel. Tell him, I took this from Masada. And this is the cycle, the circle of the Jewish people. Okay, we were all around. Now we're back here. It's the strength of the rock. We came back home. We've returned to Israel. We've built a nation. We've built a country. 62 years old, and we're strong as that rock. We have that army. We're not defenseless anymore. You know, the Romans, they come and go. There were the Babylonians and the Assyrians and the Egyptians and the Pharaohs and you want to count all the armies that tried? And we're still here. Any ancient nation still speaking their original language? I mean, the original Egyptians, they couldn't read the hieroglyphs until 150 years ago, until some French guy decoded the Rosetta Stone. Okay, the ancient Mesopotamian nations, lost in time. No one can read those tablets. We can still read the same books that were written 2,500 years ago in the same language that we teach today in our schools.